Hi, still early in the morning. So early, in fact, even my daughter's asleep. Even the daisies haven't opened. Now, it's not often I'm awake this early, but I am today, and I just wanted to share with you a video. I was asked recently in my Ask Me Anything video that I've linked down below what resources we have been using during this lockdown period. What resources to help us to cope, to function, to get through. Some of those resources might be new and some might have been in use before lockdown. But it got me to thinking, I wonder what resources Jesus used to cope with the pressures in his life. In Matthew 13 and 14 we read of Jesus grieving when his cousin is brutally beheaded. He takes a boat out onto a lake for some time alone, and who can blame him? But when he comes back to shore, a whole crowd of people are waiting for him with all sorts of needs. And instead of doing what many of us might have done, which is turn around and go straight back out onto the lake, he has compassion on them and stays with them, bringing comfort and healing in the midst of his own grief. As evening approaches and they are in need of food, instead of sending them home, again he has compassion and he organises what becomes known as the feeding of the 5,000 with 5 loaves and 2 fish. Now, whatever happened that evening, many were fed from very little, just as many had been feeding on one man's words and deeds all that day. Jesus must have been exhausted. The brutal death of his relative, a day of tending to others' needs, and a haphazard evening meal. At the end of it all, Jesus sends his friends away. They get back on the boat, and then he invites the crowd to return home as night is approaching. Only then does he find time for himself, time to be alone, time with God and his thoughts. And so he goes up a mountain to pray. And here's the thing. Whenever Jesus is busy or under pressure, he makes time to pray. In the beginning of Mark's Gospel, we hear that Jesus had spent the evening healing the sick. The following morning, he gets up early while it's still dark to pray before beginning his packed preaching and teaching tour of Galilee. So here's some questions. Here's some thoughts about resources during this lockdown time. Do you begin or end your days with prayer, whether they're brief prayers or time spent in quiet meditation or in praise? Do you find a regular time of day to pray works for you? I have to confess I don't. It seems to be that it happens when I can find the time, and maybe I need to be working on that. When you're under pressure, what strategies do you employ to keep your head, to keep your balance, to keep everything ticking along? So do you begin or end your day with prayer? Do you find a regular time to pray works, or does it happen as and when? And what strategies do you employ when you're under pressure to keep your mental health in good shape? Let me know in the comments below. And in the meantime, as always, stay safe and live love.